Money is just a byproduct. It's not the actual mission.
Exactly. The mission is training your mind.
Yeah.
If you can master this framework, the financial success is, well, it's almost the inevitable result.
So the sources distill this down into 13 core patterns, the building blocks of this wealth mindset.
Right. And this isn't theory. This is a blueprint. It's for training your mind based on what these consistent achievers actually did. So our mission for you, the learner, is to quickly distill these 13 patterns and show you how they go from just being abstract concepts to, actionable mental tasks.
Okay, let's start at the absolute bedrock, because without this one thing, nothing else works, and that is desire. But not like passive wishing. This is the highly disciplined, burning want.
Vague desires give you vague results. It's that simple. This principle says you can't just hope for wealth. You have to transform that hope into an obsession. The intensity has to be almost, spiritual in a way.
And the beauty of the material is that it doesn't just leave it there. It's not just want it more.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you 6 meticulous, almost ritualistic steps to turn that general desire into a target.
And they are absolutely critical for programming your subconscious mind. First, you have to specify the exact amount of money. Not a lot of money, an exact number. Second, what will you give in return? Your effort, your skill, your time, be precise.
Okay, so a specific number and a specific price you'll pay.
Then a fixed date. When will you have it? And fourth, a clear, detailed plan to get there.
And the last 2 are the psychological anchors, right? That's where it really locks in.
That's it. You write all 4 of those points down in a clear statement, and then you read it aloud twice a day, once before bed and once when you wake up. And you have to act and feel as if you already possess the money.
That daily ritual, that's the mechanism. It moves it from a wish list in your conscious mind to a direct order for your subconscious.
Exactly. But I can imagine what you're thinking. If you're just starting out, that
A
feels...
little ridiculous, like you're just talking to yourself. How do you avoid feeling like a fraud in that moment?
That's where the second pillar comes in. That intense desire is the fuel, but it needs a furnace. And that furnace is faith. Not in a religious sense, but belief in your plan, and maybe more importantly, belief in yourself.
So this is that cycle. The repeated emotion-charged thoughts, like reading the goal every day, they literally become beliefs.
And those beliefs dictate your actions, and your actions shape your outcomes. If you don't truly believe you can hit that massive goal you just wrote down, you'll subconsciously sabotage the plan before you even start.
So how do you install that belief if it's not there?
Well, that leads us to the operating system for it all, autosuggestion. This is how you literally program your inner world.
Because your subconscious mind, it runs the show, right? It runs your habits, your gut reactions. It doesn't really use logic.
It doesn't analyze, it just executes. It accepts whatever you feed it consistently and with strong emotion.
So the technique isn't just robotic repetition.
No, that's the key. It has to have emotion. You have to feel the reality of the achievement, as you say it. Think of it like a garden. You're planting seeds of confidence and clear goals, and you're actively ripping out the weeds of fear and doubt.
Okay, so that's the inner foundation. Desire is the fuel, faith is the conviction, and autosuggestion is the operating system upgrade.
Let's shift to the idea engine. How do we generate the actual plans? It starts with specialized knowledge. Yeah, and what's fascinating here is the distinction they make. Formal education, general knowledge. That alone doesn't guarantee wealth.
Right. General education teaches you history. Specialized knowledge teaches you how to, design a microchip that solves a specific problem.
Exactly. It's the difference between knowing a little about everything and knowing something highly valuable that people will pay for. And crucially, it must be applied knowledge. Knowledge sitting in your head, unused, has no value.
So you don't have to be an encyclopedia. You have to be a precision tool. But even that knowledge is useless without the real starting point of all wealth, which is imagination.
Every single fortune starts as an idea. The sources break down imagination into 2 types, which is really useful.
Okay, what are they?
First, you have synthetic imagination. This is basically taking existing ideas, existing concepts, and just combining them in new ways. Think of Henry Ford. The assembly line existed, cars existed, he just combined them in a new, valuable way.
Innovation through combination.
Yes. And then you have creative imagination. This is the big one. This is intuition, the aha moment, the breakthrough that seems to come from nowhere. It's a higher level tool you develop over time.
And money always follows the ideas that solve problems better or faster. So the ability to generate those ideas is the starting gun.
But ideas are worthless until they hit the pavement, which brings us to the action phase, organized planning.
This is where the rubber meets the road. You can have the burning desire, the brilliant idea, but without a concrete plan, it's all just a fantasy.
And the sources are so clear about this. A plan needs steps, but it also needs backup plans. It needs flexibility. And here's the crucial insight. Failure usually means the plan failed, not the goal.
Wow, that reframes everything. Because if my goal is to build a company and my first attempt fails, I haven't failed.
Your plan failed, and now you have data on what not to do. The desire, the goal, that remains intact. It takes the personal sting out of failure and makes it analytical. You're just a plan tester.
Fine.
Plan tester.
I like that.
Okay, so speaking of moving, the bridge between planning and doing is decision. And the big lesson here seems to be speed matters.
The contrast is stark. Successful people decide quickly and change their minds slowly, only with new data. Unsuccessful people decide slowly, agonizing, and then change their minds constantly.
Indecision is a momentum killer. It just lets all the doubt creep in. And worse, it lets other people's opinions control you. When you hesitate, you're asking the world to choose for you.
Exactly. You become vulnerable. The principle is clear. Clarity beats perfection. A quick 80% decision that you execute with power is way better than a perfect decision that never gets made.
But speed is one thing. Sustaining it through the tough times is another, which brings us to the great differentiator: persistence.
This is it. This is the line between winners and quitters. The sources suggest most people give up right before the big breakthrough.
So persistence isn't just gritting your teeth.
No, it's a controlled, sustained effort. It requires emotional control, and you have to practice it like a muscle.
So how do we train it? What are the obstacles?
Well, the biggest killers of persistence are a weak desire. If it's not an obsession, you'll quit, and poor planning. Also, negative influences. The people around you telling you it's impossible, and that huge one, the fear of criticism. You have to build a shield against all of that.
That sounds exhausting to do alone. Constant psychological self-defense.
It is. Which brings us to the advanced tools, the energy multipliers. The first is the mastermind. And this shatters the myth of the lone wolf genius.
Okay, so what is a mastermind specifically?
It's a coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people working in total harmony toward a shared goal.
The word harmony is key there. It's more than just a team.
Oh, much more. The sources talk about a third mind emerging from that synergy. The benefits are huge. Multiple brains are better than one. You get access to knowledge you don't have. You get accountability. The energy just multiplies.
And speaking of energy, we have to tackle the most misunderstood concept in the whole framework: sex transmutation. It's a term that throws everyone off.
It does. But the core idea is about energy redirection, not suppression. The research found that the sex drive is the single most powerful internal energy we have. It motivates, it compels.
So the successful people learned how to harness it. Instead of letting it just dissipate, they channeled that intensity into their work, their creativity, their discipline.
Exactly. When you take the strongest motivator in the human psyche and point it directly at your burning desire, you become unstoppable. It's about conscious control of your internal drive.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, let's synthesize the last three, which are all about the mind's hidden mechanics: the subconscious, the brain, and the sixth sense.
Right. So the subconscious is the controller. We know it accepts repetition and emotion, but it also accepts authority. It doesn't judge. You have to consciously feed it confidence and goals and starve it of fear, because it will just carry out your most frequent orders.
And the brain itself is described as a kind of broadcasting station.
Yeah, a receiver. It's constantly being influenced by your environment, the people you're with. If your mastermind is positive, the signals are clear. If you hang around negative people, your thinking gets polluted. You have to guard your mental space.
And all of that leads to the sixth sense, or intuition.
Which isn't magic. It's the culmination of everything else working together. It's pattern recognition plus confidence. It's what gives you the answer when pure logic runs out. It's the peak achievement of a trained mind.
Okay, so that's the full blueprint. But we can't end without talking about the major obstacles. The sources identify the 6 basic fears that block almost everyone.
And these are the anchors. They rule people's lives without them even realizing it. It's the fear of poverty, of criticism, of ill health, of loss of love, of old age, and of death. They stop you from making those quick decisions because they keep you playing defense, not offense.
Most people are just trying to avoid one of those, rather than actively going after a goal.
And that leads to the final truth of it all. Money isn't the real prize. The real reward is the self-discipline, the confidence, the total control over your own mind.
The money just shows up when all of that is in place. Your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. This isn't a shortcut. It's training.
It demands the same discipline as any physical training. You start by defining what you want, what you'll give for it, and then you rigorously guard your mind.
That's the ultimate takeaway. So, based on the principles of speed and decision we talked about, here's a final question for you. Which of those 6 basic fears, poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, or death, is controlling a crucial decision for you right now? And what small, quick decision can you make in the next 60 seconds to reclaim that momentum?